All right, I'll wrap up with a quick statement. I'd like to thank the board for enduring the attacks and bullying by the left and Democrats. I have heard attacks calling conservative Republican commissioners things like heinous, stupid, dangerous, evil, morons, idiots, etc. So add fascist to the list. The person is yelling it from the audience. One public commenter encouraged people to come watch the meetings. I think that's a great idea. If you did, you might see that same public commenter who made the suggestion mouthing "F you" to commissioners. He's clarifying it's just me. So anyway, commissioners, thank you. Continue to do the right things, even in the face of bullying and attacks, verbal attacks from the left. Focus on freedom, and thank you very much. We do have an item of additional business, which would be, we'll skip past 11A and go to 11B, which is an update on the National Association of Counties Legislative Conference. Does anybody have any updates from that? That was this last weekend. Commissioner Rohde?
Yes, I just wanted to share a couple things from attending that conference. So, and these are beyond the many policies and initiatives that were shared there. I think I likely have at least a foot of papers on policies that we brought back for us to be able to reference and review. One of the meetings that I was at, David Bernhardt, Secretary of Interior under President Trump, talked about President Trump's focus and priority of obtaining results for the people. And he differentiated his prior service under the Bush administration from his service under President Trump's administration, noting the high level of productivity and courageous action, which had been absent under President Bush and vibrant under President Trump. When asked by Commissioner Curran, thank you for asking the question, what made the difference between those two administrations, he boiled it down to action and courage. David Bernhardt shared a time when his department was taking new initiatives for the people and came under heavy, intense media criticism. President Trump called him and said, "You must be doing something right. Keep going." And then secondly, in the evening, one of the evenings on our own, we went to significant historical sites in Washington, D.C. And I think it's just really good to kind of recap some thoughts from there. We went to a number of sites, but they included the Thomas Jefferson Memorial and the Lincoln Memorial. And I was impressed upon that at a time when Americans are told that God has no place in government or discussions of government, that our nation was built with a foundation which very much was built on a faith in God and an invitation for him to be a part of and to bless our nation. So I just wanted to read a couple of the things that are inscribed in some of those monuments in Washington, D.C. So I got it locked out of my computer, so give me a second. At the Thomas Jefferson Memorial, around the top of it is inscribed in very large bold letters, "I have sworn upon the altar of God eternal hostility against every form of tyranny over the mind of man." And then in another section is written, "God who gave us life, gave us liberty. Can the liberties of a nation be secure when we have removed a conviction that these liberties are the gift of God? Indeed, I tremble for my country when I reflect that God is just and his justice cannot sleep forever." And then at the Lincoln Memorial, he again had a number of things that talked about God as well, or included him in the language. One of them I thought was fitting even for our community where we, have disagreements. With malice toward none, with charity for all, with firmness in the right as God gives us to see the right, Let us strive on to finish the work we are in, to bind up the nation's wounds, to care for him who shall have borne the battle, and for his widow and his orphan, to do all which may achieve and cherish a just and lasting peace among ourselves and with all nations. So thank you for the opportunity to share that. I know for me, it was very meaningful to be able to go and just observe, you know, how important that was at the founding of our nation. And I believe those truths continue to be important.
Commissioner Miedema.
Commissioner Rhodey, I really appreciate what you shared. I could resonate with what you said. I think just one other small piece that stood out to me was the taxi ride back to the airport. And I asked the particular driver if I said, we will be praying as a group a little bit later. Is there anything you'd like prayers for? And he said, prayers for peace. Our nation is in turmoil, and I believe it is because there's such a self-absorption that people are only ever thinking about themselves. And he said, that would be my heart, is praying for peace and to look outside of oneself. So really appreciate what you said again.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay. I guess my last comment is just based off your comment, Commissioner Miedema. A true source of peace is only found in Jesus Christ.
Amen.
So anyway, seeing as we've reached the end of our agenda, this meeting is adjourned.